Welcome to the February 5th edition of Vikings Update. We'll start this week's show with women's basketball, where the Viking women continue to climb in the top 25 poll. For the second straight week, the Vikings received more votes in the poll and are working their way closer to being inside that top 25. The Vikings are climbing because they're winning, and that continued Saturday at home when VCSU wrapped up a three-game homestand against Dickinson State with a 63-51 victory. Vikings led 38-35 at halftime, but limited Dickinson State to just 16 second-half points. Sierra Even and Courtney Dixon led the Viking attack, combining for 29 points and 14 rebounds. It was the third straight victory for the Vikings. And then just last night, VCSU extended the winning streak to 4 games with a big road victory at Mayville State, 86-67. Again, VCSU pulled away in the second half, using a 17-8 run to break the game open. 6 different Vikings scored in double figures, led by 17 points from Courtney Dixon. Mayville State was also receiving votes in the top 25 poll, so it was a huge win for Valley City. Vikings are now 16-7 overall and 4-1 in the North Star Athletic Association. The Vikings begin the second half of conference play by hosting University of Jamestown on Saturday at 4 p.m. Jamestown ranked number 11 in the country and so far undefeated in conference play. The Viking men also found the win column last week, picking up their first conference victory of the season. Elwood Ellenson scores and draws the foul here as part of a three-point play, and the Vikings went on to win 73-66 over Dickinson State. The VCSU trailed 48-44 in the second half, but used a 13-1 run to take control of the game for good. Point guard Riley West scored 22 points, including the final 10 for VCSU, as they improved to 1-3 in the NSAA with the home court victory. Then last night, Viking men were on the road, also at Mayville State, and just couldn't slow down the hot shooting Comets. Mayville State shot 57% in the game as they knocked off the Vikings 86-75. Viking men are now 11-13 overall and 1-4 in conference play. They continue conference play by hosting Jamestown on Saturday at 6 p.m. Saturday's basketball doubleheader against Jamestown has been designated as Bleed Cardinal Night, so if you're coming out to the bubble, make sure to wear your VCSU red. Viking track and field had their second meet of the season on Saturday at Concordia College in Moorhead. On the women's side, Alexandra Cardenas had 2 top 8 finishes in the 800-meter and 3,000-meter. Jessica Melland and Monica Madavi also had top 8 in the weight throw and 3,000, respectively. A couple of very strong performances by the Viking men. Richard Longdew placed second in the 3,000 and added a 7th in the 1 mile. And Malik Jackson ran a strong 600-meter race to finish second, finishing in a time of 1:26. Dylan Thomas and Michelle Herrera each added 7th place finishes. Complete results are available at VCSUVikings.com. Viking track and field continues the season this weekend at the NDSU Thundering Herd meet in Fargo. Exciting time at VCSU as we announce a lot of future Vikings this time of year. We'll start in women's basketball, where Mackenzie Huber, a 6'1" center from Clark, South Dakota, has committed to VCSU. She comes from a very strong high school program that has played in the state tournament 3 times in her career. Viking volleyball stayed local with the addition of Clarissa Olson, a middle hitter from Valley City High School, strong all-around athlete who also had offers to play basketball and tennis in college. And Viking softball also stayed local, signing Highlander standout infielder Brooke Breckheimer, who has proven herself as a very good hitter. Big day Wednesday for Viking football as they announced 29 signed recruits on National Signing Day. The group includes 14 from North Dakota, 10 from Minnesota, 2 from Arizona, and 1 each from South Dakota, Nebraska, and Alaska. We'll go through them one by one. Zachary Danielson, a linebacker from Minot, Eli Luna, a wide receiver from Towner, Andrew Hannerty, a wide receiver from Rolla, Justin Hansen, an offensive lineman from Griggs County Central, Dakota Johnson, a defensive lineman from Minot, Harrison Hamill, a kicker from Valley City, A.J. Dale, running back out of Mandan, Marshall White, a running back from Berthold, Seth Abarea, a running back out of Carrington, North Dakota, Drew Aronson, a linebacker from Crary, Brady Matheny, a defensive lineman out of Lisbon, Jake Peterson, a wide receiver and tight end out of Larimore, Riley Schmaltz, a linebacker from Dickinson, and Carter Zedeca, a wide receiver from Oaks. Minnesota kids, Eli Rahir, a running back out of Northolm, Dalton Jorgensen, offensive lineman from Norman County West, Ben Lean, linebacker out of Moorhead, DeForest Nelson, a linebacker from Hitterdal, Jake Anderson, defensive lineman out of Little Falls Community High School. Melvin Joyce, defensive lineman, Champlain Park High School. Kellen Kessler, a wide receiver out of Appleton. Dominic Cruz, linebacker from Thief River Falls. Lawrence Agunti, quarterback from Brooklyn Center. And Swin Sinthavong, a defensive lineman from Waite Park. From South Dakota, Jackson Doden, defensive back from Groton. From Alaska, Isaiah Dawkins, wide receiver out of Wasilla. And from Nebraska, Danny Newton, an offensive lineman from Papillion. And out of Arizona, Derek Edgin, defensive lineman from Desert Edge High School. And Luis Montano, a defensive back from Yuma, Arizona. Head coach Dennis McCulloch says they are excited to welcome a strong group of incoming freshmen. More info on all can be found at VCSUVikings.com. That does it for this week's edition of Vikings Update. Don't forget to come out to the bubble on Saturday for Viking Jimmy basketball.